celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I got my coffee. I stayed sober for you guys, all right? Because I care. I'm not gonna lie, I am really excited about this one. Like, super excited. Phone's been going crazy all day. And of course, I haven't looked, I haven't checked, no peeking. Yeah, I love how excited everyone is for me to see it. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a cool thing. Welcome to Freedom to Think broadcast. Today we got another big one for the Freethinker Reacts series, and this is super highly requested. I do have the first request though. I took a screenshot of that. From Chris Bolin. Oh dang, his new song, End of the World. Give it a look. Do I know who John Rich is? I'm pretty sure that's Big and Rich. If so, I know he's incredibly based, as the kids say, and that's exciting for me. So I think it should be pretty good. As always, we are going to buy the song. Always want to support these artists. If I get to exist on the internet and use their content to kind of spread some truth and news of what's going on, definitely going to be supporting them. I hope it's a banger, man. I hope it's every bit as amazing as people have been saying. Because I did buy the 2 albums, but I have not listened to the 2 albums, Renegade and the Revolution. I still have them sealed in the studio closet, waiting for the heads up. So, from what I understand, this is on one of those CDs. Currently number 2 on iTunes. Okay, well, the Freethinkers Rebellion is rising. We're going to help get it up another notch. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, please like, please subscribe. I'm headed for 100,000 now, which I never thought that would be the next step, but that's pretty awesome. Jonas, welcome. Freethinker Rebellion Captain. Very cool. Well, just so you guys know, liking and subscribing is an amazing way to join the Freethinkers Rebellion, but if you do want to support the channel, I put everyone who's either a member or a dono during the live stream or who contributes through any of my links onto the videos, because I just want to acknowledge that you guys are helping me out. It's very cool. Appreciate it. All right, well, we're not messing around anymore. I'm getting into this. I'm really pumped. Now, I will be pausing because that's what I do. So if you don't like the pausing, just go watch the song like 100 times and then come back. All right, this aesthetic already is freaking amazing. So Rich, there's UFOs. You got Rich up in the clouds with those glasses, amazing. And then Tom's outfit is just ridiculous. All right, let's go.
I know the end is near, the television telling lies. I know for sure the revolution won't be televised. I know that we've been waiting patiently for better times.
Hey, is that Tom's old man? That was Tom's dad, wasn't it? Come on, hit me in the chat. Was that him? There's a special place in my heart for Tom's dad because he apparently reached out to Tom to tell him to look at one of my videos with Armando. And so Tom commented on one video that I've made so far, and it was because of his dad. He said, my dad sent me here, so that was so cool. He's selling the suit for 10K. Hey, you know what? Get it however you can. Now, aside from all the excitement about Tom's dad, you saw that he was saying, once again, the revolution won't be televised because this propaganda machine that they have is strong. I mean, holy crap. You see some of the stuff they get away with. They outright say it, and then they contradict it, and then the whole media machine comes behind them and just, I mean, it just backs whatever the narrative of the day is. So it's crazy. UFOs, we're going to talk about UFOs in a little bit.
I know for sure the revolution won't be televised. I know that we've been waiting patiently for better times. We fell asleep and men are blind, can't recognize it's genocide. Feel like the bomb about to drop out of the clouds. Another virus going airborne, go hide inside your house. Farmers watching crops die, they drying up with droughts. Angry people forming crowds and trying to burn the cities down.
Ooh, okay. Yes, people are a little frustrated. You see the banks are on fire. Well, collapsing and on fire. In London, one is on fire. They really didn't show that over the last few years. It's like there's been a global revolution of mass protests of the like hundreds of thousands, literally all over the place. And they just didn't show it on the TV. Like they just banned everyone talked about any of this stuff. It's really crazy.
Farmers watching crops die, they drying up with droughts. Angry people forming crowds and trying to burn the cities down. This is Armageddon, martial law for our protection. I talk to God, but it's long distance and I lost reception. Forest fires and oil spills are the awful lessons. I'm just waiting for the devil to take over heaven.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it's not very optimistic so far, but that's kind of the point. So this is the end of the world. You know, I just did a video for Falling in Reverse, which was Watch the World Burn. Not really the same theme exactly. That was kind of like a flex song. But you can just see there is a lot of things that are going at the same time. And there's good news and bad news, so I don't think everyone needs to freak out. Actually, you know what? We can freak out a little bit. We're going to do a sponsor. Why not? So the world's kind of going to crap. It's ending, as evident by this video. And I don't know if you're prepared, but you really should be. Consider getting My Patriot Supply. Long-term dried food. Good for 25 years. The best day of your life is when you throw it out because you didn't starve to death. Also, you might consider getting one of these bad boys. I live over on the lake, and I could take the catfish water, put it through this, and keep everyone alive. Amazing. And just while you're at it, since stuff sucks a whole lot, Quick Clot for gunshot wounds. So really just get all that stuff. I don't have a code. I'm not even going to put the link in there, but I am going to save this part and send it to My Patriot Supply. Maybe there'll be a sponsor later. My wife made the tinfoil hat, so it's perfect to size.
Forest fires and oil spills are the awful lessons. I'm just waiting for the devil to take over heaven. This is biblical, I swear it's in the Bible. We keep killing one another and we dying for survival. We used to fight for peace, we put our flowers in their rifles. Now we're about to be extinct, every man, woman, and child. It's the end of the world.
Okay, I'm excited about the chorus, but we got to talk a little bit about the UFOs. All right. Very likely, it's us. It's our stuff. So I watched a Sean Ryan podcast the other day. Very good stuff. And I'd seen a lot of very similar things, but it was very aggregated. So I was pretty pumped. And it was this guy who was talking about how essentially there's a lot of old tech that's been hidden from us. And then they've made advanced equipment off of the old tech. And now the sector for power and energy is so gigantic, you really can't just turn it off. So with Biden saying stupid stuff like, you know, we're going to get away from oil in 10 years.
They say we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that.
Not with the methods that they're choosing. The wind, the solar, electric just doesn't have the juice to put out that much energy. But we do have some tech in the areas. Let's just say that we have the tech. And I'm not really freaked out about the UFOs. Because I think it's us. I think it's our gear. So aliens don't exist. I'm not going to say that aliens definitely don't exist. I'm not going to say it. There's too many stars in the sky. If each star is a solar system, there's no way I can say that definitively there's no aliens. But I will say if there's no aliens, then we live in a dome, then the sky isn't real, and it's just a plane, you know, a plane of existence, big bubble. And then there's definitely heaven and hell and demons in that scenario. Different dimensions kind of fighting with each other. Going to be wild, but yeah, don't freak out about the UFOs. Still have arms and food though. Definitely a good idea. More because of the banks than the UFOs. The runs on the banks are a big deal.
Flowers and their rifles, now we're about to be extinct, every man, woman, and child.
It's the end of the world, I will do better next time. Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it. If it's the end of the world, I know that I have lived my life to the fullest. Yeah, the fullest. We stood on top of mountains. We've been to space before. We had our
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love the chorus. It seems very wholesome. Like I said, Tom was coming in a little bit negative at the beginning, and then it seems like we're kind of running it back with Rich here. So it's very cool. Flat earther Tony Baloney, I bet you think strippers like you too. Wait, where's Tony Baloney? Aliens don't exist. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not throwing shade at anyone, because so much of the expert opinions in the last few years has been absolute trash that I've pretty much given up on the science. I have a lot more faith in God and Jesus than the science, like infinitely, and it's not even close. And I was pretty hard the other way before, so they thoroughly ruined that.
Now that the sky's falling, what did we do it for?
Feels like the end is near, our freedom's disappearing. People playing God, call it genetic engineering. The media misleading us and evil's interfering, while the government we need became the power that we're fearing.
Ooh, the government we need became the power that we're fearing. That is such a nice bar. We do need the government. 100% we need it, because we're not able to do everything. You know, I'm going crazy in here with like Edit Jeff and Business Jeff and Red Pill Dungeon Jeff. You know what I mean? But like, can you be a cop and a firefighter and pave the roads and fix the power lines when the transformer blows? And you know what I mean? Like, we can't do all the stuff. We do need the government, but it's a necessary evil, and it's like just by default and by design going to try and maintain its own power, and then eventually really just kind of turns on you. Like every time it becomes a more totalitarian, authoritarian regime, regardless of the system you're in, until, you know, there's like a revolution and then it starts over again. Freaking annoying, but that's just the way it is. It's good bars. And he's right. Like, the freedom disappearing. Are you kidding me? The last few years with them trying to say this crazy stuff. I saw in New York, they're trying to pass legislation to throw people in camps like what they did in Australia.
Have you heard about these camps in Australia? Is it right? Is it wrong? What's going on in Australia? And when do we start to examine the human rights angle here and consent of the governed? Though statewide lockdowns have eased in Australia, the country is constructing internment camps for those who test positive, along with their negative close contacts. Harley Hodgson, an Australian held for 14 days in one such camp despite repeatedly testing negative, said of her experience, "You feel like you're in prison, you feel like you've done something wrong. It's inhumane what they're doing." With the pandemic, more of us than ever have felt the bridle of government around our throats. We weren't allowed to leave the country, or if we had left, we weren't easily able to return. And there were limits on gatherings and the ability to protest.
You know, next time they declare that it's some kind of a medical emergency, oh, freedom's gone for the science. Yeah, hell no to that. I don't think so.
The media misleading us and evil's interfering, while the government we need became the power that we're fearing. Our billionaires are going to space, don't blame them for leaving. Birds are falling out the air, fish washing up on our beaches. This is...
Bro, okay. So he's talking about the birds falling out the air?
Dead in the snow in the small town of Falköping. It's as if Christmas had come again for aficionados of the mysterious and irrational.
The only sign of damage was where they'd been run over. They looked like they were in some kind of shock. Everywhere you looked, they'd fallen out of trees.
But at the risk of disappointing conspiracy theorists, mass die-offs of birds like this in Louisiana on Monday morning are surprisingly common. The US Geological Survey lists 90 such incidents in America in the last 6 months of last year, 5 involving more than 1,000 birds.
That's like the 5G attacking us, okay? Like, throw it back on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I saw that. I saw the pigeons just dropping out the sky. Like, you don't even know. When we got kicked off of all the main platforms a couple years ago, it was pretty amazing to see all of this stuff just free flowing in the alt tech. I mean, it was a bit overwhelming. Kind of like breaks your mind a little bit that you're just like, man, so there's like all these layers of crazy stuff that's going on. And then people are so sheltered from it that you're just like, wow, the more I learn that's true, the crazier I seem to other people. because of the reference point. They just don't have it at all. Right? Yeah. All right. Let's keep it rolling.
Millionaires are going to space, don't blame them for leaving. Birds are falling out the air, fish washing up on our beaches. This is end times, humans got a deadline. Children are the future till we ruin them with headlines. Should be past their bedtime, but everyone's woke.
Maybe that shouldn't have been as funny. That was funnier now. I'm trying to die. He's like, that's my favorite heifer. Oh, man. Yeah, that's great. Oh, Tony Baloney, I hear you. I'm so red-pilled. I got kicked off Facebook, and I didn't even have an account. Yeah, that's good. Actually, I had shared one of the clips from Joe Rogan with one of the doctors. I don't remember if it was McCullough or Malone, but it was one of them, and he was just stating a bunch of true, factual information. They just suspended my account for 30 days, and I found out because I tried to post my daughter's first day of school. And they're like, you're locked out of your account for 30 days. Just like, are you freaking kidding me? And then I think right after that, I made my first video ever saying that I was pissed off and I was going to build this studio and basically just do what I do. I agree. Got red pilled, and you just can't go back. You can't go back to sleep once you see some of that stuff.
Ruin them with headlines, should be past their bedtime, but everyone's woke. They told us chase a dollar that made everyone broke. I feel like cryptocurrency is probably our last financial hope. Soon enough, the government will leave your bank account froze.
Ah, yes. Yes. Get that crypto. I got egg coin. The banks are collapsing, and I think I'm going to make a new investment. Say hello, my little Bitcoin miners. Oh, yeah. We're going to turn weeds and bugs into gold. Awesome.
Oh, so cute. But when they go up, I'm going to see the chicken.
You like the chicken?
Yes.
Yeah. My wife called me when I was at work, and she was like, hey, they just posted online that chickens are in at the feed store. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm leaving work in like an hour. I'm going right there. Because money ain't worth shit. It just is what it is, man. The inflation, the situation with inflation is terrible. If there's anything that you need, get it, okay? Because your money's not going to buy the same stuff. Like, you know, when your grandpa was like, I used to take Marjorie over to the movie theater and dinner for 15 cents. Yeah, you could. Like, they'd buy like a really nice house and a decent car and have the fridge full on like a high schooler education job at the factory. Like, that's it. Then inflation killed us, and they're making it so much worse right now. Like, you don't even know what's going on with the banks. Look, I know this is important, so we gotta talk about this. So with the banks, what happened was, instead of hiring bankers, they hired like diversity and inclusion specialists who checked all the woke boxes.
This is a video that SVB put out days before it went under.
I think there's a big disparity between the investments in Black-led companies than other companies.
We want to help close the Latino wealth gap.
Oh, more entitled people talking about themselves. Let's talk about me and my identity. It's so interesting. Banking is boring. The Fed's got that covered. Is this starting to scare you a little bit? This is what banks are actually like?
Then they removed the reserve requirement, because you used to have like the banks needed to have like 1/10 of the money on hand at all times. And they're just like, screw it. Just lend it out extra, make more money that way. But then when people are like, hey, the Fed raised the interest rates to soak up some of this inflation, and people are like, oh, well, you know, I need to use my cash to put into other investments. Well, now too many people ran on the banks who were focused on being woke and not banking, and they didn't have enough money, and now the banks are screwed. So now me, who has like no money in the bank anyway, like whatever, but our tax dollars are bailing out the bank. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to have to raise inflation, the interest rates again to soak up that inflation, to bail out the other banks that are now just going to be going crazy because they have no risk, because we've nationalized the banking system. Congratulations. We're f***ed. I really like the chorus, though. It's good.
Currency is probably our last financial hope. Soon enough, the government will leave your bank account froze. Judgment day is coming. You can run or you can stand and fight. Panic in the dark or lead rebellions by the candlelight.
Woo! Woo! Panic in the dark or have rebellions by the candlelight. That is badass. I want that on a shirt, dude. That is cool. I like that. Tony, you got fired for not taking the juice poke. Yeah. There's a lot of people that had that. I led the revolution at my job, and I survived it somehow. But that was a crazy story. Do you want to know the story? I'm not just going to blabber if you don't care. All right, so you get the whole story then. I had really boring office work to do, okay? Reassigning titles from one company to another company, right? And so I get a call from the salesman saying I need this work done. And my printer's out of ink. I hate printers. They suck. I have like a lifelong hatred of printers, okay? Like my favorite scene of any movie ever was Office Space when they destroy the printer. Anyway, the printer's out of ink. So I tell the guy, hey, you know what? I'll get ink on the way to work tomorrow. So, and I just had the Rona. So I had it. I had it for like 14 days. It sucked. I felt like a zombie. And I lost like 15 pounds during that time. And when I finally had my 104-degree fever break, I had horrible diarrhea for like 4 days. And then when that finished, I was able to go back to work. That day is when I run out of the ink. And then the next day, I got to go get ink. So I get the ink and my battery dies on my car. And I'm just like, this sucks. So I pull the battery out. I take it into Walmart. They're out of stock of the battery. So I got to go back to the car, reinstall my battery, jumpstart my car to drive to somewhere else. And then I go get that battery. Finally, I'm all set. I got the ink. I got a new battery. I drive to work. I'm sweaty. I'm covered in grease. I'm like an hour and a half late. So I reassign this stupid paperwork and then I go take it to the GM and I just need him to sign it. And then he decides that that's the time that he's going to pipe up and talk crap about me not wearing a mask. And I'm just like, dude, just sign the freaking paper, okay? And he's like, I'm not signing it if you're not wearing a mask. And I was like, are you really going there with me right now? He's like, yeah, no, you need to. He's like, I got half of my staff sick. And I was like, all right, well, I just got back from being sick. I'm literally the least likely person to get you sick because I just got natural infection and I'm good now. And he was like, yeah, well, if it wasn't for people like you who were unmasked and unjabbed, I would have a full staff right now. Really, bro? Like, we're there? I was like, you know, these don't work. Like, they literally are incapable of stopping the droplets. Like, it does nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Honestly, I was a lot calmer than I am right now. Like, I was stone talking to this guy, and he started screaming, like, unhinged, screaming. Okay. Everyone in the area knew that was going on. And so I went back to my office, and I had to call my boss and the salesman. And I was like, hey, dude, this guy won't sign it unless I'm wearing a mask. And he's just like, screw your customer. Because we decided to bring the masks back. That was the thing. They were bringing them back again. And I'm like, dude, I can't even fully breathe yet because I'm just getting over this crap. I was just totally over it. And so I went off on them. And then, yeah, long story short, I ended up sending an email replying to his email because he sent an email saying, hey, masks are back because of the unmasked and unjabbed people who, you know, basically put us all in danger. Like he did that. And so I responded to that and did like a reply all to the whole company. And it was freaking epic. I just told them they have a very strong misconception of their role in our personal medical decision making. I was like, you're not telling us what to do. It's like a truck dealership. I was like, it's like the middle managers of a truck dealership think that you get to make personal medical decisions for our people and then discriminate against them based on their personal medical history. And I was like, yeah, that's illegal, for one. I said that the mass science was very debatable, but the global data shows that it has little, if any, benefit whatsoever, with a big, long list of side effects that some people deem unacceptable to deal with. And I was one of those people. I said, so if you want to wear 2 masks, get 3 booster shots, and you could even get a rectal swab every morning. I swear to God, I said that about the rectal swab. I said, you can go ahead, but I'm not going to be doing that. There were parts and labor shortages everywhere, and I'd been there for 7 years. So if you care about the law and, your people who've been here a while, you might want to consider our medical rights. So anyway, I was immediately suspended without pay, kicked out of the office for 3.5 weeks. But the good news is I did a send all, so everyone got that email. And then there was a company-wide mutiny. And I was just like working at home after my suspension was up. And I was seeing them sending email after email after email, begging people to comply. And no one would do it. They're like, think of other people. Think of other people. This is recommended by the CDC. And just no one would do it. No one budged. So 3.5 weeks later, they cut all restrictions from my job. No testing, no jab stuff, no masking, absolutely nothing. And I got the call, you can come back in the office on Monday. That was September of 21. And so while I was suspended without pay, I started running electricity into this room and building that wall to build a studio. That was kind of like the birth of all this.
Day is coming, you can run or you can stand and fight. Panic in the dark or lead rebellions by the candlelight. This ain't your granddaddy's planet Earth, it's black and white. The end is coming, I'll see y'all in the afterlife.
It's the end of the world, I will do better next time. Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it. If it's the end of the world, I know that I have...
Yes! Yes! Bro, I didn't know. I got it. I'm matching his dad. Dude, we're like this. You know what I'm saying? Tight. That oh, so good. I had the foil hat. That was not planned. I promise you. I had no idea.
If it's the end of the world, I know that I have lived my life to the fullest. Yeah, the fullest.
My dude's waving. My dude's waving at the aliens. That's so good. That's so good. Oh, man.
Yeah, the fullest. We stood on top of mountains. We've been to space before. We had our dogs and houses. We dug up dinosaurs. We built those bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do with it? It's the end of the world as we know it. It's awful.
Yeah, just throw it. Oh, wait.
It's over.
Yeah, take that, bitch. He's throwing 2 up at the aliens. Rich hit him with a rock. Save the cow. Dude, that was the favorite heifer.
It's awful that it's over.
While we look down at our phones, they'll drop a bomb from a drone, then an explosion. We should have known it.
Okay, stop. That's important. Said while we're looking down at our phones, they'll drop the bomb from a drone. Explode. Okay. There are so many distractions going on. They decided to say that there's a new prospect of where the Rona came from. That it was some kind of a dog over in China. They're like, oh yeah, no, it was that. And it was the same people who blocked the original theory from going out, where they're just like, no, we need to stop them from seeing that it's what it probably definitely is. Yeah, no, we can't let them see that. We got to block this, say that it's a pangolin, right? And then that got trashed over the course of forever. And now these people are back saying it's something different. It's like, get out of here. So it's always distractions, some stupid right now there's another distraction. They're like, they're going to indict Trump. New York people are about to indict Trump any day now. They're preparing for an indictment. But yeah, you got UFOs going on. The banks are all collapsing. The southern border is bringing over the fentanyl, which is killing more people than we lost in all of Vietnam War. So, you know, kind of a big deal. They're just, nah, no big deal.
An explosion. We should have known it. We stood on top of mountains. We've been to space before. We had our dogs and hounds. We dug up dinosaurs.
The production value is really good. Like, you guys did a great job with this. But just thinking of how to shoot this, I'm picturing Tom just like running in the middle of a random field, throwing middle fingers up like over his head and being like someone with a dog walking over there. Like, how hilarious that would be. But I love this. He's just like running from the aliens, flipping them to bird.
We had our dogs and houses. We dug up dinosaurs. We built the bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do it for?
Guys, that was so amazing. That was so good. Speaking of the Trump getting indicted, isn't that funny that they're blaming him for the banks now? They're like, they deregulated. It's like, what regulation did they roll back that caused this problem? I'll wait. There wasn't one. That's just stupid. You really covered a lot of stuff, though. Like, for real. Yes, with John Rich being there, it'll definitely be a new set of fans. I agree. So I know Tom does a fair bit of collaborations, but he's very, you know, well known for being an independent artist, standalone. But in that case, yes, like, that's a very different group that's going to get exposed to him. And John Rich is based. I've seen some of his Twitter posts and stuff. That's the group that you want to be exposed to Tom MacDonald. Because I'm sure there's a large amount of people that would really love Tom who follow Rich. So that's a big deal. Yeah, I'm glad for how the video was. I felt like it had a good mix of like acknowledging a bit of what's actually going on and then trying to be a little bit positive with it. I really liked the hook. It was just really well done. And then the theatrics, the elements of the video itself were really funny. They're funny and witty. And I'm a big fan of Tom's dad, as you guys know. So the fact that he was in it, immediately I knew. And then he busted out with the matching hat for me. That's what's up. Hey, I like wearing St. Paddy's Day stuff. So I got Who Needs Luck? I have Charm. You know what I'm saying? And there's some ignorant people that'll be like, hey, you're not Irish. Yeah, neither was St. Patrick, bro. He had Roman parents and he was born in Scotland. He was a slave to the Irish, which is ironic because the Irish were slaves, you know, really not treated well. But yeah, so he like goes over there. He's a slave. And in prison, you know, something like that. And then he like escapes and then goes back to be, you know, like a missionary in Ireland. Really cool guy. And not Irish. So deal with it. And then I see Fauci touting this double mask study. And it was done at a college on mannequins. Like, literally, they took dummies and put 2 masks on their face and spritzed them. And they were like, yeah, if you put an extra mask on there, less of the spritz gets through. They're dummies. They don't breathe. They're not sucking the air through the thing. They're not blowing air out of the thing. It's not a living person. Like, this is a rigged study, and it's stupid. And then Fauci's like, well, it just makes sense, you know. 2 masks is better than 1. Beagles.